Welcome to Cineights, where you get to know the best movies and series. Today's video is about top 10 best movies about introverts. Be sure to watch until the end. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video. The Perks of Being a Wallflower. 2012. Being an introvert can feel especially isolating as a teenager, and The Perks of Being a Wallflower encapsulates this perfectly. Logan Lerman stars as the isolated Charlie who befriends outspoken siblings, Sam and Patrick, after the suicide of his only childhood companion. Wallflower is a synonym for an introvert, referring to those who prefer to stay at the periphery of a room during social gatherings. Generic _name _ here likes the film as Charlie still recognizes he is an introvert even after he begins making friends. This is a rarity in films featuring introverted characters, as many feature a central thread of them transcending their introverted status by the end. The Station Agent. 2003. In this sweet film, Peter Dinklage plays a man who, after losing his only friend, moves to rural New Jersey to live a secluded new life, and develops an introverted personality. However, in meeting his fellow townsfolk and having varied conversations with them, he slowly realizes that spending time with other people needn't be unpleasant. The Station Agent came up a lot on Reddit, with Tepid Halibut commenting that it is a fine movie and that Dinklage gives such a measured performance. His approach to an introverted character is worthy of note and is aided by Tom McCarthy's excellent script that won a BAFTA for Best Original Screenplay. 500 Days of Summer. 2009. 500 Days of Summer stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Tom and Zooey Deschanel as Summer in a cautionary tale for introverts looking for love. The film shows their relationship from beginning to end, in non-sequential order, after Tom is dumped and heartbroken. It's clear that, as an introvert, Tom spends too much time crafting an ideal image of Summer in his head that is at odds with who she actually is. This causes him to be a bit of a bad boyfriend by the end, lacking interest in the real world and the real Summer. From the Ashes. 984 says that the scene in which Tom's fantasy and reality are shown side by side is a gut punch every single time. Amélie. 2001. Amélie is about the titular quiet girl that works in a cafe in Paris and attempts to make the lives of those around her happier while refraining from talking to anyone. In dreamy elements, she fantasizes about the lives and experiences she may have. But when love is at her doorstep, she must reconcile her shyness with her desire for romance. Proudfunction writes that the film has a great message for introverts. It's easy to live in your own head forever and to live through others, but that's not truly all life is. Although Amélie stays an introvert, she learns to live for herself as well as to assist in the happiness of those around her. Punch Drunk Love. 2002. Paul Thomas Anderson writes and directs Adam Sandler in a role opposed to his usual bombastic, extroverted characters as Barry Egan in Punch Drunk Love. He stars as a lonely, quiet man who falls in love with his sister's coworker. It's insinuated that his introversion is a result of having 7 loud, overbearing sisters. Old Bird Watcher is very enthusiastic about this recommendation, adding that it's also an accurate portrayal of social anxiety. After a complicated scenario involving a phone sex line, Barry battles his social anxiety to pursue love. The film intricately shows how introversion can blend with social anxiety, and how something as strong as true love is required to help Barry break out of the cycle. Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. 2015. Written and adapted from his debut novel by Jesse Andrews, Me and Earl and the Dying Girl features Thomas Mann as the Me. After his mother encourages him to hang out with Olivia Cooke's Rachel, they strike up a friendship. Earl is his coworker who assists him in the making of goofy short films. One Redditor recommends the film, but with a cost. Warn, be prepared to weep. Ultimately, it's a film about friendship, with a protagonist that seems to think that he doesn't need it. Call Me By Your Name. 2017. The Luca Guadagnino-directed film depicts the crush and subsequent love affair of introspective Elio and the very American Oliver, in the summer of 1986 somewhere in northern Italy. In a quiet and intimate film, they fall for one another as Elio comes of age and comes to terms with his newfound sexuality. Lux 815 says that Timothée Chalamet's Elio has a lot of scenes of him interacting alone with his thoughts and desires. Call Me By Your Name is a film that does an excellent job at interpreting the complex inner thoughts of its main character when each one is detailed so thoroughly in the Andre Aciman novel on which it is based. Adaptation. 2002. Written by self-professed introvert Charlie Kaufman. This meta-film stars Nicolas Cage as Kaufman, a screenwriter with writer's block. The comedy drama is about his struggle to adapt Susan Orleans, the Orchid Thief, for a movie adaptation. The character is socially awkward, and at one point gets his confident twin brother Donald to interview the author instead of himself. Redditor Zorro Means Fox says this is the main crux of adaptation, how Charlie Kaufman is tortured by being locked inside his own head so much, while his twin brother Donald, the extrovert, is much happier free of that intellectual maze of self-reflection and apprehension. Surely shows how difficult an introvert can be in the wider social discourse. The Way Back. 2013. Another coming-of-age flick, The Way Back centers on shy 14-year-old Duncan. He reluctantly goes on vacation with his mother and her loud boyfriend and finds himself surrounded by extroverts. Over the summer, he comes into his own with the help of the manager of a water park, Owen, played by Sam Rockwell. Rossetti recognizes that coming-of-age films are often good at representing introverts, and recommends this as a good recent example. In addition, the film's writer-directors Nat Faxon and Jim Rash were praised for their debut film, with critics calling it funny, witty, and heartwarming. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty 2013, Ben Stiller stars as the titular chronic daydreamer, in a film based on James Thurber's 1939 short story of the same name. He works for a magazine called Life, and after finding a key photograph missing for their last issue, goes on a life-affirming treasure hunt to find it. The journey takes him all the way to Greenland, Iceland, and Afghanistan as he rediscovers his teenage hopes. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty received mixed reviews on release, and a since-deleted user explains why they think this might be. Ben Stiller and his team made a movie that did not speak the language of the extrovert. Did things that an extrovert will never catch.